mean, it's simple. You know, you have to come out and play with the killer instinct. You have to have that intensity.
Where was that tonight?
I have no idea. I hate watching the Lakers play sometimes because towards the end they try to play the hero ball. Okay? You said LeBron James the greatest player ever?
Ever.
What about Michael and Kobe? So you just gonna pass Kobe up like that?
I'm gonna pass Kobe up. I'm gonna look at Michael. I'm gonna look at the. I'm gonna look at.
I know it. Patron, America.
Yo.
Shaquille O'Neal calling out LeBron James to stop comparing himself to Michael Jordan hits completely different when you actually look at the numbers behind it. Because this isn't just opinions anymore, this is legacy backed by stats. And when you start stacking those numbers side by side, the conversation gets uncomfortable real fast. Now, think about this for a second. LeBron is sitting at over 40,000 career points, the all-time leading scorer in NBA history, and he's also top 5 all-time in assists. Let that sink in. You're talking about a player who can finish as the greatest scorer ever and still be one of the best playmakers ever at the same time. Meanwhile, Jordan finished his career with 32,292 points, which is insane in its own right, but he did it with a completely different style. Jordan averaged 30.1 points per game, the highest in NBA history, while LeBron is around 27 points per game across more than 2 decades. So right there, you've got volume versus longevity, peak scoring versus sustained dominance. This is where it gets dangerous, because when Shaq says stop comparing, he's basically pointing at this exact problem. Jordan dominated in shorter bursts with absolute control. 6 championships, 6-0 in the finals, 6 finals MVPs, never let a series go to Game 7 in the finals. That's perfection. But LeBron? He's been to 10 finals, won 4 championships, and done it across 3 different teams in 3 different systems in 3 different eras. That's adaptability. That's survival at the highest level.
Where do we start? It's just amazing at his age.
Yeah.
What he came into the league, what we perceived him as an athlete, a dunker.
Yeah.
And now we're seeing as a complete scorer, shooter, and everything else under the sun. So it was just a cool moment to see him get to his spot, fade away, new record.
Here's the part nobody's talking about. LeBron has played over 1,400 regular season games and counting, plus another 280-plus playoff games. That's basically multiple extra seasons of high-pressure basketball. Jordan played over 1,072 regular season games and about 179 playoff games. So when people say LeBron has more losses in the finals, yeah, he also has way more opportunities. He stayed in contention longer than almost anyone in history. This is where young players usually make a mistake. They see the rings and stop there. 6 rings versus 4 rings, end of debate. But Shaq is basically saying, hold on, look deeper. Because if rings were everything, then players like Robert Horry would be in the GOAT conversation too. Context matters, competition matters, longevity matters.
They didn't have focus, and I'm glad the Rockets beat them. We know what it needs to be done to win the championship. LeBron knows that. I'm surprised that they didn't come out with that effort and intensity, and I'm super disappointed in the Lakers tonight.
Now let's talk all-around impact, because this is where LeBron separates himself. He's averaging around 7 rebounds and 7 assists for his career, which is something no player at his level has ever maintained for this long. Jordan, on the other hand, averaged about 6 rebounds and 5 assists, still elite, but more focused on scoring and defense. And defensively, yeah, Jordan has the edge with a Defensive Player of the Year award and 9 all-defensive first-team selections, while LeBron has been elite defensively in stretches, but not as consistently dominant on that end throughout his career. This is where it gets dangerous, because now you're not just comparing players, you're comparing roles. Jordan was the ultimate scorer, the closer, the guy you trusted to take the last shot every single time. LeBron is more of a system. He controls the game, makes the right play, sometimes passes up the last shot to get a better one, and depending on what you value, your answer changes. Here's the part nobody's talking about. Advanced stats actually make this debate even closer. LeBron has one of the highest player efficiency ratings in history, right up there with Jordan. His win shares are higher because of longevity, meaning he's contributed to more total team success over time. But Jordan's peak seasons, those are still considered some of the most dominant stretches ever, where he was just completely unstoppable on both ends.
I'm gonna say one thing to you, and Max, I don't know the numbers like you do. Michael Jordan is what in the finals? 6 and what?
Oh.
And what is LeBron in the finals? That's all I gotta say.
This is where young players usually make a mistake. They try to force one definition of greatness onto everyone. But Shaq is basically saying greatness doesn't look the same for everyone. Jordan's greatness was about dominance and finishing the job every single time. LeBron's greatness is about evolving, adapting, and staying at the top longer than anyone thought possible. Now here's where it all connects back to Shaq's message. Because when he says stop comparing, he's not saying LeBron isn't great, he's saying LeBron is so great that he doesn't need the comparison anymore. Because if you remove Jordan from the equation, LeBron's resume becomes even crazier. All-time leading scorer, top 5 in assists, 20-plus All-Star appearances, multiple MVPs, championships across different teams, and still producing at a high level deep into his late 30s and early 40s.
When LeBron passes up Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in points, and he will this year, will that make him the greatest player ever? Okay. An interesting question.
This is where it gets dangerous, because if LeBron keeps getting compared to Jordan, every single loss gets amplified. Every missed shot becomes a debate point. Every playoff exit becomes a legacy discussion. And that's exactly what Shaq is pushing back against. He's saying, why are we still doing this when the numbers already prove LeBron's greatness in a completely different way? Here's the part nobody's talking about. If you actually separate their careers, you might realize this isn't a competition. It's two different types of greatness. Jordan is the peak, LeBron is the marathon. Jordan is the perfect storm, LeBron is the constant force. And now we get to the real debate. If LeBron finishes his career with something like 42,000 plus points, 11,000 plus assists, and 11,000 plus rebounds, does that outweigh Jordan's perfect finals record in scoring dominance? Or does perfection still beat longevity? Because this is where it gets dangerous. There's no clear answer. So I'll leave you with this. Is Shaq right? Should LeBron stop being compared to Michael Jordan completely? Or are these numbers exactly why the comparison will never end? Because if we're being honest, the stats don't settle the debate. They make it even harder.